Welcome to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial LLC. Simon, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much, and thank you for always coming in to do the shows, because I know that you've been so extremely busy. The television shows have been doing so well for you. Let's talk about what life is like in the office for you right now.
Oh, as you said, busy. Yeah. It's you are forced to be very efficient with your time. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And are you scheduling certain blocks of time for just the people that are calling in from the television shows and then mingling in with the regular clients as well, or how is that being separated?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have our regular clients that we see on a scheduled basis. Then we often get referrals, and then we have people from the show calling in wanting to see us. So we do set aside blocks of time. The last thing I want is to not be able to be responsive to somebody in a timely fashion. So
sure, absolutely. Simon, in your opinion, do you need to have a financial advisor to ease into retirement?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay. All right, let's talk about that.
Yeah, there's so many decisions to be made, and most people intuitively know that that they need some help. But it's always what we don't know, that we don't realize we know, is the thing that kind of bites us, and by the time it bites us, it's too late. So, I would urge everybody to get with a financial advisor if they're not already working with one, and just go through everything and make sure everything's covered. And there's so many different areas to look for in the plan, in a proper plan that can set the client up for what they want in retirement.
Okay. Let me ask you, what are some pitfalls that can occur if someone is not working with a financial advisor as they approach retirement? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, well, as they approach retirement, I mean, we need to understand, and most people who do come to see us kind of know, they realize, it's time to dial back on the risk, and make my 401k more conservative, because I'm close. And it might have been because of the 2008 crash. We had a lot of people that, we heard stories of people losing money, not clients of ours, but, they would come into our office, or they would, have been devastated by 2008, and they had to put off their retirement year by several years and delay it to kind of recover from that loss. So either it's from that, or they just intuitively know, but they know, like most people I see today, walk in with a more conservative portfolio. So I would say that would be number one. You don't want to work for 40 years and then have a big tank in the market right before you're about to retire, and then lose 20-30%, and then that changes everything, changes all the math.
Sure, absolutely. Let me ask you a question for people that are in the viewing audience today and they have not set aside time to sit with a financial advisor. Let's talk about the steps of constructing a well-designed retirement plan. How do you do that for someone that's coming into the office? Yeah,
that's a great question. It is our first meeting with a client when we've never met them before, is usually 1.5 to 2 hours.
Okay.
And we're covering everything. I've got a 7-page, what they call in our business a fact find, and it's just all the data. But we're not just looking at statements. Obviously, they're handing us all their statements, Social Security statements, 401k statements, IRAs, and all that. Life insurance if they have it, and we kind of set those aside and get to those later. It's a 7-page questionnaire, and a lot of times these clients are being asked questions that they've never even thought about before, and they kind of, if it's a husband and wife, they kind of look at each other and
Give an example of one of the questions.
Well, how much traveling you want to do?
Okay.
And is it domestic or international?
Okay.
And are you even going to travel? And then if so, how frequently and where, and how long do you want to stay? Because that all costs money.
Sure.
And so we got to budget that. And if they're fortunate enough to have their grandkids, or if they have grandkids local, then that's wonderful. But that's not always the case. So there's
Yeah.
and then sometimes you have one spouse that's like, 5 times a year the grandkids, and the other ones, once or twice is enough, and so you got to kind of help them work things out and get to a definitive answer so that I can do my job.
Sure.
Yeah.
That brings up a great point, because if someone today in the viewing audience, Simon, they're sitting together having a cup of coffee, husband and wife, how important is it that they come into the consultation together?
Oh, incredibly important.
Yeah.
It's, it often, they've been married a long time, very typically, and they're usually on the same page, but sometimes not. And sometimes a spouse will think, I know how my spouse is going to answer that, because I've been married 40 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And the answer is not always what they think. And
Yeah.
so I need both in. I mean, I'm working for both of them. I'm not
Okay.
working for one. So the plan needs to be based off their goals, both goals from both
Okay.
clients. And if we have a conflict, like I said, or they're on different pages, they need to kind of work it out and get us a definitive answer, whether it's 5 trips to the grandkids or 2. So.
Absolutely. When someone is thinking about retiring, Simon, what kind of questions should they be asking themselves and ultimately asking you when they're considering it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there are 2 different answers. I mean, asking themselves is what do they want to do in retirement? And what is their dream? That they've worked their whole life for this.
Sure.
This is the golden years, as we say,
Absolutely.
And do they have a bucket list? And are there things, this is not a pleasant thing to think about, but if I were to pass away, tomorrow, and have I done everything I've wanted to do? Have I seen everything? Have I tried everything? And, not to kind of be that doom and gloom, but you want to kind of think that. You don't want to get to the, towards the end and then realize you have regrets. That's horrible. So, think that through. That's their job. That's what they need to ask themselves. What does their ideal, perfect retirement look like? What is that, wake up every morning, it's Saturday and everything's great, appear to them, and put some time into it, put some thought into it.
Okay.
And then, the questions they want to ask me or my firm is, what kind of services do we provide and what don't we provide? Are we a fiduciary? Which, the answer to that is yes. I've been a fiduciary since January 2009. That's very important. That obligates me by regulations to put the client first.
Absolutely.
And make sure we're putting every decision is for the client's best interest. I have to be free of conflicts of interest. So, that's, in my opinion, critical for the client to know that about us.
I agree, Simon, because not everyone is a fiduciary. That's a very special license that you carry, and that gives peace of mind to the client to know that you are definitely putting their best interests above anything else.
Yeah.
And that's a gift that you provide.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time for us to actually open up the phone lines this week. Would you agree?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the viewers at home, there is a phone number on your screen to call, and that number is 877-441-4901. What Simon is offering you today is a complimentary financial review. Let him take a look at what you currently have in place. Are you ready for retirement? Do you need to have a plan constructed to help you get through all of your retirement years? Simon is able to do exactly that for you. And all you have to do today is pick up the phone and call 877-441-4901. We have to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to get to know Simon on a more personal level, so please stay tuned.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only. to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have. By running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers. And Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, a great first segment that we had of the show today, just talking about the importance of planning for retirement and, of course, working with a fiduciary. But I'd like to dive in a little bit further about why you have such a passion for helping others and how the company was born, if you will.
Yeah, okay, two great questions. My passion, I've always been a giver and I've always wanted to help people. And I didn't obviously get into this business starting my own firm. I worked for other firms and had some very good mentors, and they helped me to see the light of how things could be a little bit better if I could set up my own firm, how I could kind of do it what I felt was the best way for the client, which includes being a fiduciary, includes being independent on the insurance side, holistic, so we're incorporating the advice of other professionals. And then where my passion lays, and part of it is I like to be treated, or I treat people the way I like to be treated. And so I don't like sales pressure. I can't stand it. So so we're like the no pressure firm, and I feel, and I say this to my clients all the time, it's your life, it's your money. You're the boss in my office. I work for you. I'm their trusted servant. And so in terms of my passion, I always say I got to get fed up here and then fed here. And so obviously putting the plans together is very complicated, and that feeds my brain. But where it feeds my heart is, knowing we've set up a plan for our clients that is rock solid, that can give them everything they're looking for in retirement, where they can sleep at night and feel safe and secure about their financial future. And because to me, it's not about money, it's really about what money does for people, or can do for people. It's about, if you want to go visit the grandkids, as we talked in the last segment, do I have enough? Making sure I've got enough throughout my retirement to see them and be there at their graduation, and, all kinds of neat things. Do your bucket list items, help others. I'm a big believer in that. If you're fortunate enough to have enough money to, take care of your own house and needs, if you can use some extra to help other people.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, that is what my drive is, and why I work so hard, is to make sure, and again, it's not about the money, it's about that the money is going in a great position to allow them to live this type of life, and that puts joy in my heart. So
absolutely, and it shows. So you started your career obviously working for other companies, other firms. Did you just feel like you were limited to a certain capacity? Is that why you wanted to start your own company?
Yeah, that's another great question. Yeah, for instance, one of the first firms I worked for, in terms of estate planning, because of compliance, and they said you have to give the names of 3 attorneys and phone numbers, and let the client choose. That way, if anything goes south, it's on the client because they picked that attorney. I vetted anybody I work with. I vet tremendously, and I'm looking for obviously honesty and competence and integrity. No sales pressure. Do they keep up with their profession, because all our professions change all
Sure.
the time. So, and then, you know, do they provide good customer service? And then if they're doing all that, usually they're pretty busy. It's the next question is, are you looking for new clients? And then when I find that person and I've vetted them myself, then I start testing them with my clients, and I tell the client, hey, this is a new partnership. I mean, this has been years since we've had to do this, but
Okay.
and then I let them know that, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that this is a solid partner here, but you know, just give me some feedback after it's over. And I
Yeah.
do that for a few years, and of course, you know, my clients often give me the feedback unsolicited, and so then you know, after a couple of years, I could start to relax and be like, okay, that's solid. That professional is solid. So
Okay.
you know, it's a great place to be, is to have that complement of other professionals, so that we
Sure.
can bring that. But I, you know, it's a good question. It's we weren't allowed to kind of form those partnerships years ago.
Okay.
And you know, now we can. So.
Okay, excellent. I have to ask you a question, Simon. If someone's in the audience today and they're already working with someone that's their advisor, how do they know it's the right advisor for them? What questions should they be asking that person?
Yeah, great question. You know, often we have a gut sense about something,
Okay.
and whenever I've ignored my gut, it's been a learning lesson. So,
Right.
and I think that probably the studio audience can feel the same. You know, there are things like communication, and do they have a sense? Are they getting all their needs met? You know, if they request something, is it being executed? But you know, those are the things that everybody's going to know. The things they don't know is that, you know, is your advisor maximizing, have they put forth a plan to maximize your Social Security? Because a lot of people don't know that there's over 2,700 rules to Social Security.
How many?
2,700, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, leave it to the
gosh.
government, right, to kind of complicate things. But I mean,
Right.
you know, if you're trying to set up a system for 330 million people, you're going to,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of variables, so I don't blame them. But you know, the vast majority of those rules don't apply to us. But you know, there are some that do, out of that over 2,700. So, you know, it's important to have an advisor that goes the extra yard and does that kind of work, and works with other like professionals like CPA to do tax planning, income tax planning, and estate tax planning. Because it's not always what you make through your advisor, it's what you get to keep
Sure.
at the end of the day.
Sure. And again, we can't talk enough about how important it is to work with a fiduciary. So again, in your words, Simon, why is that important to have a fiduciary on your side?
Yeah, well, fiduciary, it's a regulatory standard that I have to put the client's interests first, and I have to be free of conflicts of interest, and it's very black and white. The other regulatory level of compliance is doing what's suitable for the client. So if you're not a fiduciary in my business, you're a broker and you're doing what's suitable. And that's pretty gray area. I mean, obviously you can't do anything outrageous, but you know, if a client needs a mid-cap mutual fund, that broker doesn't have to find the least expensive fund for the client. They can often put them in a fund that actually is put out by the company they work for, that may give them extra commissions or
dollars,
income
yeah.
or bonuses at the end of the year. That's perfectly fine. That's suitable. They can have conflicts of interest like that.
Okay.
We cannot. So.
Okay. Okay, excellent. So it's okay for a client to ask their advisor right now, are you a fiduciary?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I would.
Well, this is the perfect time for us to reopen up the phone lines to the viewers at home. To the viewers at home, the phone number on your screen to call is 877-441-4901. What you're calling for today is a complimentary financial plan and review, and Simon is going to be able to take a look at where you currently are and where that fits into your plan and your goals for retirement. You deserve to have peace of mind in your retirement years, and Simon can make sure that you have exactly that. Again, the number to call is 877-441-4901. This offer is available to the next 10 callers only. We have to take a very short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm going to have some more questions for Simon on how you can retire with peace of mind. We'll be right back.
Both my parents started off as university professors in England, so I think teaching's in my blood. What we do is very complicated, but we lay it out in a way that is very easy to understand.
It's just a matter of being able to convey the information that they need most to make the best decision for them.
You don't have to do what we do for a living to take a look at our plan and within a couple minutes totally grasp it. When you're teaching, you're really helping somebody learn. So I have a genuine love and desire and kind of a need really to help people. I think that comes from my heart. In England, you name your house like we name our dog. Every house has a name. And the house that my father was born at is my grandmother's house, and the name of her house was Basildon. Whenever I was over there, I felt safe, and I felt loved, and I felt taken care of, and I felt everything was okay. I strive to have our clients feel that same way.
Should something devastating happen, the last thing that they need to think about is, am I covered? Am I secure? How is this going to affect me financially? I think they need to focus on being well and spending time with the ones that they love.
They feel secure in that they can depend on us to do what we say we're going to do to help them make the decisions that they need to make.
Welcome back to Basildon Retire Well TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Simon Rogers, and Simon is the CEO of Basildon Financial, LLC. Simon, a great show that we're having today. Obviously, once again, talking about the importance of planning for retirement. Yeah. And I love to see the phone lines light up when we go to the commercial break, because the phone number's already on the screen. So when we're opening up those phone lines, they just start bing, 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 one right after the other. It shows that there's just a need for the information that you're providing. So if someone was fortunate enough to gain one of those complimentary consultations this week, what can they expect to feel when they walk into your office for the very first time?
Well, hopefully welcomed.
Okay.
We kind of go out of our way for that. Coffee, tea, water. And we, it's funny. There's one new client, well, not new anymore, but we took somebody on about a year and a half ago, and he jokingly said, "You got beer?" And I said, "No, but what's your favorite brand?" And the next time he came into our office, and he was very specific. Chilled glass, like in the freezer,
that
frosty
is so
glass.
Funny.
Next time he came in, that's what he was served.
Aww.
And he was like, "Wow, you didn't have to do that." And I'm like, "Well, we try to listen to our clients." So, we try to make it a home environment. We try to make it comfortable. We try to make it, easy for people, and so they're relaxed and they feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And so we strive to be very welcoming and easygoing.
Sure. So very conversational, just an easy visit, just getting to know one another, if you will.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any documents that they should bring with them on that first meeting, or do you have a checklist on your website, Simon?
Yeah, we when a client's coming to our office for the first time, we usually typically email them directions so it's easy for them to find. We kind of make everything as simple as possible, and we give them a list of documents that they need to bring if they can get them together. And we also do, through our tax partners, a lot of our clients elect to have their tax return done through us. And I love it because we don't make money on it. We lose money, but which is maybe I'm not the greatest business guy, but it gives me a chance to be a second set of eyes on that tax return. And since we're handling most, if not all, their money, I know what should show up on that return just from experience for all these years. And so I can kind of double check what the CPA has done, and then we can make sure that there's no mistakes. But with that being said, if they owe something to the IRS or Commonwealth of PA, we do everything from the return envelope. We write their address, we put the stamp on it, and we put the voucher in there. And the only thing they have to do is write the check and sign it and put it in. And then if they want to take it home and mail it, if not, we'll mail it for them.
That's nice.
Yeah, obviously we can't write their check for them. That wouldn't be legal.
Can't do that,
but it's an example of how we go the extra yard for our clients. I want it to be as simple and easy as possible. When if they have a form they have to sign and they don't want to come into the office, we'll mail it out to them, and in there is a self-addressed stamped return envelope. Sign here sticker, and everything's filled out, and they just sign it and pop it back in the envelope, and they're done.
Yes.
So as easy as possible.
That's wonderful. Let me ask you about your communication style with your clients, Simon. Do you reach out to them via email? Is it video? Do you call them? How does that typically look after they become one of your clients?
Yeah, we have a weekly email newsletter that goes out, and then we have annual reviews. As I mentioned, a number of our clients elect to have us do their taxes too, or do their taxes through us.
Okay.
So we're seeing them, and then anything that comes up, if they, if there's a shift that needs to be done or a next step in a financial plan that needs to be executed, they'll be in to see us for that. If something comes up in their life that we're unaware of, and maybe somebody passed away and they're inheriting something and they want to come in and talk about it, anything that they could generate a meeting for. And it's always, as a fiduciary, as a fee-based advisor, all that's complimentary. We don't charge for those hourly visits. They can come in and see us as many times as they'd like per year. And then, pre-COVID, we had client appreciation events. So, we'd often see them there, and those are a lot of fun.
Sure.
I mean, we just went out of our way to try to. We had a water balloon toss one year, which was
fun.
just things. We played cornhole. We had a magician that's phenomenal, just world class. John Westford. I'll give him a little tip today, but we try to go above and beyond and make it as fun and enjoyable as for our clients as we can.
Which is why everyone loves you, Simon. Thank you again for another amazing show this week. To the viewers at home, the phone number to call once again is 877-441-4901. What Simon is offering you today is the plan that allows you to retire comfortably. Let him take a look at what your goals and your dreams are. Again, thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you next week. Be safe, be happy, be blessed, and we'll see you very soon.